Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lesia and today I wanted to share with you my library haul for December. And incidentally, it's going to be my TBR for December also because I only have 3 weeks to read these books, so let's get into it. I was really looking forward to the library in Amsterdam because of its English section. I figured it was going to be much bigger than the one that is in St. Petersburg. So I went there the day before yesterday and I got myself a membership. And the funny thing is that with this library you can get a membership that doesn't allow you to take books with you, just read them at the library, or the one that actually allows you to borrow books. And it's kind of funny because every library I've been to before has been public and has been free to use, but this one actually costs money. So for a year of membership I paid about 35 or 30 euros, I'll have to check on that, and I can borrow up to 50 books per year with that membership. So I figured why not get started with some books that I wanted to read but was kind of hesitant to buy because the reviews are lower than 4 stars on Goodreads, and therefore I didn't know whether it was going to be a hit or miss for me. So let's get started with the first book that I got off the library. And that would be The Girl in 6E by A.R. Torre. You probably heard about this one. It's a thriller which follows the main heroine who is working as a cam girl locked in her own apartment for the past 3 years because she cannot get rid of her obsessive thoughts about murdering people, and she does it to stay away from people, to keep herself in check, and to keep the other people safe. And this story follows her as she is living her own secluded life as best as she can, and then she finds out about a murder that has happened with a little girl disappearing, and she suspects one of her webcam clients. And she goes out to actually find the killer and persecute him or murder him because she also has her own cravings. And I'm reading this one currently. This is a really fun book, dare I say. I would not recommend it to anyone who is below 18 or has not encountered any mature or explicit content. And when I talk about this book, I mean mature as in Pornhub descriptions, mature, that kind of stuff. The main character is talking about her life as a cam girl, what she has to do. She's very descriptive about this. So if you're not prepared for that kind of content, you probably have to skip this one. But this is a part of the book that I'm really enjoying right now because the research on this book has been done very well, and the parts of the life that she's describing are something very interesting to read about, like the perspective, and you never really know what's going on in those people's lives. So I really enjoyed the author giving the perspective on this one, and I'm looking forward to finishing it. Another book that I have been thinking about for quite a while is this one. It's Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi, and at first I found it in a bookstore in Helsinki when I thought it was really peculiar sounding, and it has this really beautiful cover. What drew me to the book initially was actually the cover, but another one with foxes. It's very sleek, very modern, very elegant, and this one is really, I don't like this one at all. Not the point. Mr. Fox by Helen Oyeyemi is following a very interesting premise. It's following this author who is writing books where his main protagonists are women, and they always have this unhappy end. They always meet their doom or death or whatever is going on. They always end up pretty much the same way. And Mr. Fox is married, but this book is about him communicating with his muse, or this imaginary girl or woman that he actually invented, who is talking back to him. And I picked this book a couple of times in the store and I read a couple of pages of the dialogue, and I always found it really witty and I wanted to know what was happening next, but I couldn't decide whether to get it or not, so I'm going to read it and check back to you. Another book that you might be familiar with is Soul to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. Haven't read any books by her, but this one won the Goodreads award for this year's young adult fiction. And this one is another of her books that is set in Second World War, and it's following 4 teenagers as they try to escape or lead their lives during the Second World War. I think they're escaping from Poland, but I'm not very sure about this. Anyway, this book is taking place on a ship, as I suspect, where something awful is going to happen. It's telling us the story of the ship called Wilhelm Gustloff, which is a historical ship. I googled it briefly. I'm not gonna be telling you what's going on there because I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to be a very dramatic read and I wonder how this is going to be turning out. I hope it's going to be interesting and that I'm going to be feeling a lot of stuff in this book, so that's another book I want to read. And we're finishing off with a pick that is marine themed also. It's called We the Drowned by Karsten Jensen, and it's supposed to be an international bestseller, and I gotta admit I picked it because of the cover. It's so beautiful and the spine is also very, very gorgeous as well. So I'm going to be reading this hunk. It's almost 700 pages and I'm looking forward to reading this because it has the promise and the look of an epic book. It's following this team of Danish recruits and soldiers who are departing onto a war in the middle of the 19th century, but not everyone will return and it's not very clear what's going to happen with those who do. But as far as I understand, this book will be skipping between years and also will cover a span of a whole century and 4 different generations, so I'm really looking forward to this and I hope it won't be boring, but very historical and very convincing and very, you know, pulling me into the story. So this is something I'm going to be reading also in December. So those are the books that I decided to start my library reading time and finish off December with. Let me know what are your plans for finishing books in this December, if there's anything urgent that you want to finish before the new year starts. And stay tuned for a bookish haul. I have a 2-part haul coming up with some books that you've already seen, but more books that I haven't talked about yet. So if you like this video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and also comment down below talking about the books you'll be reading in December. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!